Welcome to ISM Raceway in Phoenix, Arizona for the penultimate round of the Rivalry Racing Cup Series. We're going to be doing the third race in the round two of the playoffs of the series. And we already have one driver locked into the final next week in Texas. And let's bring that up for you. The bracket here shows you that in round one of the playoffs, it was Wiseheart taking all three victories of 3 rounds. Now we are in round two, and we've seen Travis McDaniel take 2 wins in Michigan and Chicago. And tonight we are doing the third race in round number 2 here in Phoenix, Arizona. And that means that tonight we are going to determine the final 4 for the season finale in Texas at the Texas Motor Speedway next week. So McDaniel so far is the only one locked in. Weishard, Grant, and Martin are currently in on points. And it looks like Weishart and Grant are here tonight. Martin is here as well. Chad Martin, teammate to McDaniel. Then it's Seiden, Faden, Suggs, and Guest that are they can make it, but they need a win. Right now, they are not close enough in points, so they need a good result here tonight. And I can tell you that Brad Suggs, like last week, has made a good start in practice here, putting in the fastest lap time with a 27.21. You can see it there on the left side of your screen. Well, you can't actually, but I can tell you that that's what it is, 27.21, and that is only 0.02 of a second quicker than Travis McDaniel, who ran the second time. As the final minutes of practice are ticking away here, we see a couple of guys still going out. Garrett Grant is already practicing his donuts, it looks like. We only have 7 drivers here tonight, but that's not going to stop us from having some fun at the Phoenix International Raceway, as it used to be called, the ISM Raceway these days. David Weishart in the number 4 car has run the 3rd time here in practice. Garrett Grant was the 4th quickest driver. Nicholas Wing the 5th. Chad Martin is in the 6th position. I don't see him. He must be in the garage. And then Chris Seidenfaden is the 7th driver in practice here currently. So in a few seconds, we're going to go qualifying for this race. Qualifying will be done individually, and the drivers will have 2 laps to get a time in. And that'll determine the starting grid for the race. So we're here at night here in Phoenix. It's a fairly cool track. It looks like 73 degrees Fahrenheit track temperature. So that is a fairly cool track, and that is helpful to the drivers. It makes it a little bit less slippery. Although this is a fixed setup race, and we've seen some drivers get into a little bit of trouble during the practice laps here. So let's go and take a look at practice before we show you more of this. It is Chris Seidenfaden getting ready to qualify already. David Weishart is already out there. As said, it's individual qualifying. They can't see each other, but we can pick up anybody that we want to look at. So David Weishart out for his first lap. It looks like it's going to be a slow lap to get things warmed up. As I was saying, in qualifying, we've seen some drivers get in trouble on cold tires, especially here coming out of turn 4. If they would get on the gas a little bit too hastily, they would be turning that thing around. And I'm not sure what's going on here, but it looks like David Weishart is not really getting up to speed yet. Not so for Garrett Grant. It may be that David Weishart is hoping that his teammates will get in front of him on the grid so he can help them out. There, now he gets up to speed, it looks like. And Garrett Grant is already up to speed. He is running. It's currently Chris Seidenfaden that has run the quickest lap. We can bring those lap times up for you at 27.5 on his first lap time there. He's the only driver currently that has put in a lap. And now we see Garrett Grant put in a 27.92. That is 3 tenths, almost 4 tenths of a second slower than Seidenfaden. And that is so far the only two guys that put in a lap. And actually, Seidenfaden improves on that lap time with a 27.295. So he is currently on that provisional pole position. David Weishart comes in with a 28.714, and I cannot help but think that he is kind of trying to get Chris Seidenfaden on that pole position. Seidenfaden needs a win tonight. He desperately needs that win. He is not in the final on points just yet. So it looks to me like these teammates, Grant Weishart and Seidenfaden, yes indeed, they are going to be working together to get that in to get into the finals. Chad Martin has posted the second time with a 27.86, and he is the teammate to Travis McDaniel. Travis is locked in the final, so they're going to be working at keeping Martin locked in. He currently is in the point standings, but he doesn't have a lot of margin, so he could definitely use the help. There we see Nicholas Wing in the number 12 Motorcraft car. Nicholas is not going to make it to the playoffs. He did not qualify to be in the playoffs at all, but he's still running every race, and he's gaining experience, and he's been doing pretty good. Then it's Brad Suggs. We see him waiting here to go out, it looks like. He is still in pit lane. Suggs is also not currently in the final, so Suggs is going to need good points or preferably a win, obviously, to lock himself into that final round at the Texas Motor Speedway a week from today. So let's see if he can get that done. It looks like Nicholas Wing has posted his first lap time at 27.825. And he's currently working on his final lap here. There he is. Doesn't look like that lap was very quickly, and it was probably not counted because of scraping the wall somewhere, probably. Chad Martin still out there in the 41 car. He has posted his best lap on lap 2 with a 27.545, so he's currently on the front row alongside Chris Seidenfaden, and it looks to me like both these bigger teams, the team of Travis McDaniel and Chet Martin, as well as the team of Weishart, Grant, and Seidenfaden, it is going to be a team battle tonight to try and get these drivers into the finals at the Texas Motor Speedway. So we have a few minutes. It looks like everybody has posted their time. We have a few minutes. Let's bring up that race information for you once again. We're going to be doing a feature race of 170 laps here tonight, with a first stage ending at lap 70. And from the pit area, I have picked up that the fuel window should be right around 80 to 82 laps. So that first stage, we should not be expecting any pit stops. They should be able to make that on their first fuel stint. The series always goes yellow after the first stage is done, so lap 71 we will be seeing a yellow. People will be able to get into the pits, pick up some fuel and tires, and get started on their second stage, the remainder of the 170 laps. So during that second stage, we will definitely be seeing pit stops for fuel, and we've seen tactics being played out before in Talladega and Michigan by the team of Weishart, Grant, and Seidenfaden, and a tactical pit stop and helping each other out can definitely make a big difference in the outcome of the race. So I'm expecting to see some of that tonight, especially given the fact that both Seidenfaden and Martin are not yet quite sure of their spot in the Final Four. Weishart and Grant are probably pretty secure of their spot. They have 41. They have 41.33 as opposed to 41.15 for Grant, and then Martin trails with 40.87. Seidenfaden is currently fifth with 4,077. So Suggs is sixth with 72 points. So yeah, they still need points. They need a good finish to get into that final. Todd Guess is also in the playoffs, and he is currently not here at the moment. So unfortunately, he cannot defend his position to try to get into that final four. I'm not sure what the deal is with the very few drivers showing up tonight. But like I said, we have 7 people here, and there we see Travis McDaniel is going out to set a qualifying time. Maybe he feels he can bring it up a little bit closer to Chet Martin, and we do see that Brad Suggs has gone out, and he has put it on the provisional pole here. And that is good news for him because he needs that win pretty desperately, and he needs good points finish to be able to make it into the final. So maybe the counter move for Travis is that he wants to take Brad Suggs off of that pole position to be able to help his teammate. Let's see what he does here. And he actually puts it on second position currently with a 27.27. We can give you the exact time right there, 271 to be exact. So that means he's pushing himself in between Suggs and Seidenfaden. And Suggs does not have the luxury of a teammate helping him out, I don't think. So there, McDaniel brings it to the provisional pole with a 27.180. Good time, and I'm sure he's going to be trying to help his teammate from that pole position. It's a 1 mile oval here in Phoenix, Arizona, and the banking is not very steep. It's got a straight front stretch, and then the back stretch is kind of got a kink in it. We call that the dog leg. You just saw him going through there. The dogleg is open at this track tonight, which means that the drivers are allowed to go below the yellow line on the apron on the backstretch in that dogleg. So we're anxious to see how this all is going to play out and which of the 4 drivers are going to be in the final 4 for the championship next week in Texas. So it looks good. We know that Travis is in. We know that it looks good for David Weishart, who is in fact the slowest qualifier on 7th position. But we also know that Weishart is probably going to help his teammates Seidenfaden and Grant, and we know that Suggs really would want to score well in this race to get a shot at the championship in Texas. All right, we have a few moments before we go to the race. Seconds are ticking away currently. Everybody has done their job so far. There we go. We have finished qualifying. And that is going to bring us to the starting grid here for this race. On your pole position, we see Travis McDaniel. And they're going to be lining them up in the pit lane. Travis McDaniel will be on the left side there of the gray and green car. There you see him, the number 2, the pole sitter. That's Travis McDaniel. Then it's Brett Suggs. In second, on the second row, it'll be Chris Seidenfaden and Jet Martin. Then it'll be Nicholas Wing and Garrett Grant on the third row. And on the fourth row by himself will be David Weishart. So there we go, rolling off to start the race behind the pace car here. And here you go out of turn 2 and right past the blue cone. That's what we're looking at. That's the dog leg, as we call it. It is open, so drivers are allowed during the race to be below that yellow line on the apron there. They have to be a little bit careful with the transition from the apron to the banking. Despite the fact that the banking is not that steep, it might always upset the car a little bit, so you got to hold on. Here coming out of turn 4 is where we've seen several drivers get into trouble a little bit with being on the gas too much. The pace car is in, folks. We're getting ready to get going here at Phoenix Motor Speedway. And it's Travis McDaniel getting the show on the road here, going into turn one in first position with Brad Suggs and Chris Seidenfaden right behind him. Then a couple of car lengths to Nicholas Wing and Chet Martin, both in red and white color schemes. Then it's David Weishart. Oh, and we see Seidenfaden get in trouble here. Let's bring that back for you. Let's see if we can find out what happens. And that is, in fact, that transition from the apron to the track, to the banked part of the track, that gets him in trouble there a little bit. No yellow because there was no blockage of the race line. It's Travis McDaniel now well out in front. It is Brad Suggs in second. That is good for him. Chet Martin is now in third. That is the teammate to McDaniel. Then it's Nicholas Wing in the number 12 car, and Weishart is losing it. That is not something we see very often. It's Weishart losing it here in turn 3 and 4. He gets loose in the turn, and then he manages to hit the gas and throw it around so he doesn't slide into the wall. So good save there for David Weishart. It brings us our first caution, so it's not really going to cost him all that much. Let's bring it back for you once again. Make sure that he did that on his own and didn't get any help. It's also transitioning in, and he may have had a little tap from Grant. That would be a misunderstanding between two teammates that spins Weishart around and brings out the first caution. It might actually also be intentional to create that yellow flag and see if they can get Chris Seidenfaden back up there. I'm being the conspiracy theorist here now, but I wouldn't put it past them. Travis McDaniel is still in the lead, Brad Suggs in second, Nicholas Wing in third, and we see Martin, Grant, Seidenfaden, and Weishart all going into the pits, and they're looking for fresh rubber, I would think. And it looks like Weishart just really drove through the pit lane and didn't take any service. I'm not sure if I'm correct on that, but I do believe he just drove through there and basically thought the better of it and told himself he didn't need it. And then again, it could also be a tactical move to get Weishart back up there. But I wouldn't see how that would help Grant and Seidenfaden, so I better stop with the conspiracy theories. Anyway, we're gonna be bringing the field back together here. And there once again, Weishart once again in the pits. Maybe he just missed his pit stall. That is very well possible. Nicholas Wing now also coming in. So Weishart back in for the second time in as many laps, and he probably just overshot and missed his pit stall. That's very well possible. Let's see if he finds it now. Yeah, I'm sure he did, because he's normally further up. He is regularly on pole or first row qualifying, so he's not used to having that pit stall in the back there. I'm sure that's what it was. All right, so no such problems for the rest of the guys. Travis McDaniel is still your leader right there behind the pace car. It's Brad Suggs in the gray and green car there with the speed logos on it. That's your second place driver right now. And then it's Chet Martin in the 41 here, the red and white car with the Crestview logo on the side. Then it's Garrett Grant in the Cummins car, the black and white car with the 42. Then it is David Weishart, Chris Seidenfaden. It looks like Chris has also been in the pits. And then it is Nicholas Wing in the final position here in 7th. And actually, Nicholas is once again going through that pit lane. He may be, I'm not sure, but he could be worried about fuel. And he wants to top it off once again. No, he's just going through there. I'm not sure what the deal was there, but he just went through the pit lane. The lights on the pace car are back out, so we're going to be going racing here shortly. And except for Nicholas Wing, there he is. You have the entire field in one picture here. And it looks like people have been speeding in the pit lanes because they're lining up single file and creating a longest line there. So it looks like people have, well, maybe not. It may have been that they were speeding, but Seidenfaden now pulls back alongside Weishart. And Nicholas Wing is hanging back just a little bit. And there we go. We are racing once again. Travis McDaniel has a good jump on Brett Suggs here going into turn one. It is actually Chet Martin coming to the inside of Suggs, picking up second position. There you see him. He's going low underneath that line. And Weishart does the same and passes two cars, Garrett Grant and Seidenfaden. And Seidenfaden fifth now, Grant in sixth, and Nicholas Wing hanging on there in seventh position. Brad Suggs fighting back to regain that second position from Chet Martin. It's Weishart now on the outside. Weishart, of course, wants to lock himself in there as well. He can't afford to be hanging too far back. So he is challenging Chet Martin, and he's picked up that third position. It looks like Seidenfaden now comes to the inside of Chet Martin. To the outside of Chet Martin as well, and picks up fourth position. So Chet Martin looks like he's in a little bit of trouble, because Garrett Grant is going to be doing the exact same thing here on the outside, coming towards turn 3 and 4. And he picks up that fifth spot from Chet Martin. So Chet Martin now in sixth position. It's Travis McDaniel still in front by a good margin currently, as about a second. Brad Suggs in second, and it's David Weishart in third. It's Chris Seidenfaden in fourth. It's Garrett Grant in fifth. Chet Martin in sixth, and Nicholas Wing hanging on there at the back end of this group in seventh position, and it looks like he's not doing all that bad. He's still hanging with these guys. It's Travis McDaniel that has quite a bit of a lead currently. He is extending that lead pretty consistently, and it looks like he is currently the quickest driver on the track. Brad Suggs hanging on to second. It's David Weishart in third, and it's Chris Seidenfaden in the fourth position. Let's ride along with Chris here for a couple moments. That is your fourth place car here, the number 15 of Chris Seidenfaden, currently needing some good points to get into the final four for the Texas race. And you can see he's working that wheel a little bit. There you see that transition, bouncing his steering wheel a little bit. I mean, the banking is not that hard, but not that steep, but it still can upset that car a little bit. We saw that earlier. A little bit of oversteer coming off turn 4, as you can tell by the small correction in his hands on the wheel. And same here in turn 2. Ooh, big oversteer here coming off turn 2. He almost loses it. Good catch. And that is what it looks like inside that Crisco car. The number 15 of Chris Seidenfaden hanging on to the rear end of Weishart here. And they're going to be looking to pick up those extra points for the first stage. And up front, it's still Travis McDaniel. He now has 1.3 seconds on Brad Suggs there in the number 33 car. It looks like David Weishart is starting to put a little bit of pressure on him. So let's stay with that here for a moment. Into turn 1. It looks like the 4 comes a little bit deeper into the turn towards the yellow line. Both of them underneath that yellow line, but not by that much. They're trying to just smooth that backstretch out. And now it's Weishart getting underneath that yellow line, trying to get to the inside, but he's not quite close enough at this point. And then behind these guys, it is Garrett Grant there in the 5th position. Chet Martin and Nicholas Wing together now here in 6th and 7th. This group of three with Suggs, Weishart, and Seidenfaden, that's your battle for second position. It looks like Suggs is a little bit more comfortable away from that yellow line than Weishart is. Seidenfaden hanging with these guys. It would be good for his aspirations to be in front of these guys, but can't get it done just yet. He's just hanging with them currently. It looks to me like the tires are coming in pretty good. There's not much slip sliding around currently. Weishart likes to get down below that yellow line a little bit. Maybe it helps the car rotate for him. And let's see back here, we still have Nicholas. Oh, it looks like Nicholas Wing has passed Chet Martin. So the 41 might be in a little bit of trouble. And it doesn't look like there's a little bit of scraping behind that right front wheel. There you can see that he has slightly scraped the wall at some point, and that might be costing him a little bit. He is currently running at 28.8 second laps, and that puts him pretty much behind everybody here at Phoenix. Let's pick up Travis McDaniel here. He is now a second in front of Suggs, which means that Suggs and Weishart are gaining on the leader currently. So it looks like these guys might be working together a little bit to close that gap. And we've seen Seidenfaden missing out here somewhere. What happened to Chris? Yeah, he spun it around. And that's what I talked about. Coming off turn 4, too eager on the gas. He just slightly scrapes that inside wall, and he has to get her back on the speed. Look at him spinning the wheels, trying to accelerate. He has no grip in the rear end for some reason. Of course, after you spin out, your tires will be hotter than normal, and that makes them mushy, meaning there's just no grip on an overheated tire. So Chris Seidenfaden in 7th position. That is not good news for his hopes to get into the final, and he probably is going to be sitting there hoping for a yellow, trying to solve that situation before we get to the stage end. It is Brad Suggs and David Weishart about at 1.1 second behind McDaniel. So it looks like McDaniel gained back just a little bit once again. Weishart is closely behind Suggs. And it doesn't look like he's really putting the pressure on just yet. It's early in the race. We still have plenty of time. It is Garrett Grant in 4th, and he has about 2.8 seconds to make up to get to Weishart. And it looks like Nicholas Wing is gaining on Garrett Grant here. And of course, Nicholas picked up 5th position when Seidenfaden had his problem. So Nicholas Wing is doing a good job here tonight, trying to catch up with Garrett Grant. And it's about 0.6 of a second right now. We'll keep an eye on it. And it looks like the distance between McDaniel and his pursuers is about staying the same at about 1.1 seconds. Suggs and Weishart still close together there for 2nd position. And then it's Garrett Grant and Nicholas Wing. And definitely Wing seems to be crawling, inching towards Garrett Grant. It's not going very quickly. Their lap times are pretty much the same. Actually, it's Grant that is a 1/10 of a second quicker than Wing on the last lap. But that doesn't mean anything. I mean, Wing can still pick that back up. Let's see what it is this lap. And it's not showing me a time for Wing. That is kind of odd. Chad Martin still in 6th. Seidenfaden in 7th. He's about 5 seconds behind Chet Martin, so he's got a lot of deficit to make up. He is trying to do so, but his last lap was definitely not quicker. He was actually the slowest car on the last lap. So he's got his work cut out for him at this point. So let's take a look back here at Brad Suggs and David Weishart running in 2nd and 3rd. Again, Weishart likes that car to be on or below the yellow line, while you can see Brad Suggs. Ooh, and it looked like Weishart had a bit of wiggle there. Let's see that. coming out of 4. He was a little bit loose, but not that much. It was nothing that he would not be able to catch. You can see he comes down on or underneath that yellow line a little bit, coming off turn 4. They're both looking pretty solid. Their lap times are pretty much similar. And then in 4th, it's still Garrett Grant. And Garrett is now seeing that red and white car get a little bigger in his mirror. Once again, it is 0.5 of a second, so it's not going all that quickly, but it is going. I mean, Wing has run a last lap of 28.3, and Grant was 0.2 of a second slower, though. So Nicholas picked up 0.2 of a second in that last lap, and we can try to see what it was now. And it looks like Grant has picked the pace back up again. Gained another 0.2 of a second on Nicholas Wing. So in 6th, it's still Chet Martin, teammate to the leader, and then Chris Seidenfaden, teammate to Weishart and Grant. Travis McDaniel not looking back. That's something we can do with the camera. It looks like Brett Suggs has put a little bit of distance on David Weishart now. Not sure what the deal was. We can take a look at Weishart and see if something has happened to him. Because here he's still fairly close. Did he get loose again? Yeah, he definitely did. He got loose. He had to get off the gas and straighten that car out, and he lost about 0.5 of a second right there. So that's what happens if you are not careful coming off turn 4, and it costs you at least 3 to 4 car lengths right there. Check back on Garrett Grant and Nicholas Wing. It looks like that distance is increasing again. It is back to 1 second. So Nicholas Wing is probably starting to feel those tires go off a little bit. Chet Martin still in 6th, and Chris Seidenfaden is now over 10 seconds behind Chet Martin. This is not going according to plan. He's running similar lap times as Chet Martin, but this is currently not going according to plan. And it looks like Travis McDaniel has lost a few tenths on Suggs and Weishart. That could mean that Suggs feels more comfortable by himself and that he runs a little bit quicker by himself. Actually, Suggs and McDaniels had pretty much the exact same lap time. Last lap, there was 1/1000th of a second difference between the two. So, these guys are even. These guys are close to each other. There's not much between them. And with a small field like tonight, we're not likely to see very many yellows that would bunch them back up. So they're on their own. Basically, they're just on their own. So it looks like Weishart is running the same lap times as Suggs as well. So your top 3 drivers, McDaniel, Suggs, and Weishart, are all running a 28.3 as lap time. And actually, Garrett Grant's doing the same thing, 28.3. So your first 4 drivers here at Phoenix are equal in speed. Nicholas Wing still in 5th, Chet Martin still in 6th, and then Chris Seidenfaden again hanging back there with 10 seconds deficit on Martin. Things are not going according to plan for him, but it's still a long ways to go. We're on lap 35. We're halfway into the first stage. We have 170 laps total, so I would not count out what Chris can still do. He currently needs to save that car, get it to the first pit stop after the first stage, reset everything, and try again. Brad Suggs now under 1 second behind McDaniel, and David Weishart catching back up to him. Lap times seem to be dropping slightly by about 1/10 of a second, and that is true for everybody currently. Travis McDaniel, Brad Suggs, Weishart, and Grant all 28.4 and 28.5s. let's ride along here with Brad Suggs. That is the deficit he's looking at with Travis McDaniel. That is about a second. And you can see from his hand movements that coming off the turn, they're not completely free of trouble there. It looks like the cars are a little bit loose. They have to make sure they correct every little movement of that back end. Going into turn 3 here. Getting on the gas gently. And it looks like Brett has got that stuff under control pretty well. There you have him, David Weishart right behind him. And we can take a look at the nose camera here of David Weishart. Staying behind Brad Suggs, closing in under deceleration, it looks like. Ooh, and we have Chris Seidenfaden going into the pits. And that is early. And that tells me that he just doesn't trust those tires anymore. Not sure if something happened to him. We can check that and see if we can find something. Nope. Can't see anything happen to him, so he just may decide, you know, enough is enough. I don't trust these tires. I'm going to go in and get me some new rubber. And hopefully he can get his lap back by the time we end the first stage. But this is not good news for Chris. Waiting on the fuel. Oops. A little hiccup there in the connection. And what is he waiting on? I'm not sure if this is not also about some damage. He does have one fast repair. No, he's out. He's left the building. Chris Seidenfaden, very, very unfortunate. Chris Seidenfaden is out of the race, and that is not good news for him as far as his hopes for the final is concerned. And he was not in the final just yet, and it doesn't look like he's going to be in that final. Travis McDaniel is still running in the lead. That's a disappointing turn of events for Seidenfaden and his teammates. Brad Suggs is still in second, so he's very likely to overtake Seidenfaden towards that final. And Chet Martin currently running in the 6th position. He is currently only 10 points ahead of Brad Suggs. And that should be enough for Brad Suggs to move on up to the final, but I cannot guarantee you that. David Weishart still in 3rd. Garrett Grant still in 4th. He's a little bit under 5 seconds behind Weishart, so not much change there. Nicholas Wing in 5th. He is dropping back from Grant a little bit now. He's running 29 second laps, so that tells me that his tires are not making him feel all that comfortable anymore. And your final running car is the number 41 of Chet Martin. And it would help Martin definitely if he would move up a little bit compared to Brad Suggs. Because right now I'm not so sure that Martin would stay in the final 4 with Brad Suggs there in 2nd position. No such problems for McDaniel, although the advantage that he had is now shrunk back to 0.6 of a second. So we might see something develop here. Brad Suggs closing in on him. David Weishart hanging with Suggs, not being able to get back right to that rear bumper. And I see actually some sparks flying off that number 4 car there at the end, coming out of turn 4. And that tells me that he is scraping that wall just a little bit. We can try to see if we can see some damage or scrapes on that paintwork on that brown and white car. Yeah, no, I can't really tell. I don't believe he's... Ooh, there he goes again, a little bit. Yeah, There's a few scratches on that car. It's not that much, but right behind that right front wheel well, there's a little bit of a scratch there. And you could see him sliding off turn 4 there just for a little bit. It's not all that bad, but he needs to be careful. Let's see that once again. Here we go, coming off turn 4. Oh, he's doing better now. So Weishart hanging on to that third spot. And it looks definitely like Brad Suggs is closing that gap to the leader. It's now down to 0.3 of a second. And that means he has safed that rubber a little bit in the beginning, and he's hoping to catch up for it now. We're on lap 49, going into 50 when we pass the line. That means 21 more laps for that stage win. That might help Brad Suggs. He needs all the points he can get, obviously. Because basically, right now, it is between Suggs and Martin who is going to go through. Martin is currently 10 points ahead of Suggs, but Suggs is running in second and Martin is running in sixth. So I think Martin is not secure at all, while Brad Suggs is gaining on the leader, it looks like, and hoping for that extra point for the stage win, and maybe even looking ahead to a race win. Race win would definitely get Brad Suggs in, obviously, but a second place is not going to hurt him one bit, I'm sure of that. Let's ride along with him here. That's what the Ford Mustang of Travis McDaniel looks like from his perspective currently. The number 2 car there with the Budweiser sponsoring. Currently leading the standings and locked into the final with 2 wins, Michigan and Chicago. Still doing a very good job there. It looks like Brad Suggs is being careful on the gas coming off the turn there. Ooh, a little bit loose coming in. Yeah, a little bit loose coming off turn 2. And you can tell if you're looking at the hood there in the passenger side of the windscreen, you can tell that Brad Suggs did scrape the wall at some point. We can try to look at that from the outside. Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of a bent up right front fender there. It's not that much, but it does look like he scraped the wall at some point. So unfortunately, we lost Chris Seidenfaden there in 7th position. He needed a good result here to get through to the Final 4 for the Texas finale. And unfortunately, it was not to be. And I'm not really sure what happened to him. That car looked pretty undamaged to me, but he had an issue losing it coming off a 4 and never really recovered from that with a 10-second deficit behind Martin. And I guess he just felt that it wasn't worth his time. David Weishart now pretty much by himself, about 2 seconds behind Brad Suggs. So let's keep an eye here on the fight for the lead. There's 0.4 of a second between these guys. Brad Suggs running very strong tonight. Looking at the tail end of Travis McDaniel, your leader. All 6 drivers that are running are still on the lead lap. These guys are pretty evenly matched. Ooh, it looks like McDaniel has a bit of a wiggle there coming off a 4. A little bit of sparks. That could be the front end scraping over the asphalt as well. And it looks like Brad Suggs is getting a little racier here. And I wouldn't surprise me one bit if he was going to be putting a little bit of effort in picking up that stage win. Lap times are pretty much equal. Last lap, McDaniel gained back another tenth of a second, it looks like. So, yeah, and it's Weishart that is still also running 28.8s as the leaders are doing. And then Garrett Grant is running a lot slower currently. His last lap was a 30.1. That tells me there's been an issue for him coming off the turns, not trusting those tires anymore. Let's see what he does now. That's a 29.2, so he's not happy with that car currently, and there's really not that much that he can do. He's way too far behind David to do anything meaningful for his team. Nicholas Wing running 28.9s, so he's a little bit faster than Grant, hoping to catch back some of that deficit. It's 4 seconds currently. And Chad Martin running 29.0, and it looks like he's also struggling with those tires a little bit. You can tell that back end just stepping out just a little, and it would be very easy to overdo it here and lose it. And we've seen Seidenfaden do that, and the other guys have obviously been warned. Let's go back to McDaniel and Suggs. It is now 0.2 of a second. It definitely looks like Brad Suggs is going to be trying to do something in these final 10 laps of the first stage. We're on lap 61. So he's got 10 laps to make something happen and pick up that extra point. And it looks like McDaniel is also, everybody seems to be struggling somewhat with these tires. Coming off the turns, they look like they're a little bit loose to me. Especially turn 4 seems to be the worst. That's the speeds in 3 and 4 are a little bit higher than in 1 and 2, and that's where I kind of see them having a little bit more trouble than in turn 2. It looks like McDaniel is trying to keep it coming off the turn. He tries to keep it a little bit lower, and that gives him the opportunity. Ooh, there we go. It's Brad Suggs challenging for that lead on the apron here. Can he get close? It's still Travis in front here. They're side by side coming off of 4. Brad Suggs is going for that gap, and he wants that lead. And he can't get it done just yet. Travis has a good run off the turn. That nose is, no, it's not beside that number 2 car anymore, and Brad Suggs will have to try again. 7 laps. He still has 7 laps for that stage win. Here he comes. He's got a little bit of a car length in between there now. He's going to have to make up for that once again. And it looks like it's staying the same right now. Let's ride along here with Brett. And you can tell how he works that steering wheel. Those tires are not all that great anymore. He's got it. Ooh, there he almost loses it. And you can see McDaniel's car wiggling a little bit as well. These guys are struggling on these tires. After 66 laps on that rubber, they are struggling. But that doesn't mean that he's given up on his goals. He has a few laps left to pick up that stage win, keep the pressure on the leader, try to force the leader into a mistake maybe. But it looks like Travis has that car a little bit more. Ooh, now Travis hits the wall, sparks flying. How did that affect Travis's car? Let's take a look at the right side of that car. It doesn't look too bad, but both of them have done that by now. So let's see if Brad can pick up any advantage from that wiggle there. Keep an eye especially here on the exit of turn 4. That's where they have the most problem, where they're getting on the gas for the main straightaway. Brett Suggs hanging on. The deficit is still about 0.2 of a second. Can he do anything? gets a little closer, it looks like. Can he poke that nose underneath? Ah, they're very close now. Brad Suggs right behind Travis McDaniel. Lap 69. They have 2 more laps for that stage win. No, yeah, he's still, it's about 1/10 of a second. He takes that shortcut there a little bit. And, getting close. Lap 70 will start when they come by here, so we'll have 1 more lap to make it to that first stage win. Can he do anything here in turn 1 and 2? No, he's not close enough. On the backstretch, maybe. He's getting underneath there. He's trying pretty hard, you can tell. He's trying to go low below that yellow line, and no, it's costing him more than he gains, actually. And coming off of turn 4, if Travis doesn't go around, he's going to have that stage win. And it looks like the 33 is wiggling coming off that turn. He gave it his all. He could not make it to that stage win. And we'll be going yellow here, and we'll be seeing all these guys coming in for fresh rubber for fuel, and then we'll get started on the remainder of 170 laps. We will definitely see those guys pit before the finish of the race. So the tactics might come into factor here. The strategy might become a factor here. And it's David Weishart in 3rd. It's Garrett Grant in 4th. It's Nicholas Wing here in 5th. And then it's Chad Martin in 6th. And the yellow flag has been brought out. And we'll see the guys coming onto pit road as soon as the pits open. They'll have to get behind the pace car first, obviously. Travis McDaniel picks up that stage win. Brad Suggs got pretty close, but just not close enough. Tires were playing a part here. And I'm sure all these guys, all 6 of them, are going to be very, very happy to get down to pit road and get some new rubber to reset their options and their chances for that race win tonight. And so far, I think every single one of them is doing an awesome job handling those cars loose off the turns. I mean, that is good stuff. There you have all 6 of them coming down to pit road, trying to get their fuel. We'll take a look here at the pit lane and see who comes off first. McDaniel, Suggs, Weishart is the order right now. So let's see who has the better pit stop. Let's see if there's anybody gambling on only taking 2 tires. I would doubt that, because they were struggling hard enough after 66 laps. Of course, they can split that second stage up in 2 parts of 50, and that means they won't really have to do as many laps on these tires right now, starting from here. But no, it looks to me like everybody's taken all the tires they need, and it looks like David Weishart comes off of pit road in front of Brad Suggs. That means he picks up that second position right there behind Travis McDaniel. Suggs now in 3rd. Nicholas Wing comes off pit road in front of Garrett Grant. What happened to Garrett? And Chad Martin is coming out in 7th. So Nicholas Wing picks up a position here, and David Weishart picks up a position on pit road. That is good work. And that gives us a chance to catch our breath once again. As said, unfortunately, it's not a very big field, but the guys that are here, they know what they're doing, and they're racing hard, and they got this stuff under control. They're slip sliding around on those worn tires, but they keep it all together. The forced yellow for the end of the first stage is, in fact, it's not our first yellow. We've had 1 yellow when David Weishart went around. That's the only one we had. Chris Seidenfaden did not cause a yellow. And unfortunately, we lost him already. So McDaniel's doing a good job here from the start, from pole position. He has led pretty much. I do believe he's led every lap so far. Been challenged by Brad Suggs there at the end of the first stage, but it wasn't enough. And it looks to me like Travis is pretty good at controlling that car, despite it getting a little wiggly here and there. And so was Brad Suggs for that matter. Quite a different animal, this track here in Phoenix from the one we were on last week, Chicago. A little bit more of a round-shaped D-oval, and then before that we were at Michigan, where it's a lot more about speed and drafting. And on short ovals like these, that is obviously a little bit less of a factor. The sheet metal damage that they have picked up is not going to hurt them all that much. It's much more about throttle control coming off the turns and being smooth into turns. Lights on the pace car going out. That means we are going to go back to racing on lap 77. And that means that we're going to be doing 94 laps for the second stage till the end of the race. 6 cars left in the field, all bunched up back together again. So new restart, new chances for everybody. Let's see if Garrett Grant can bring that car further up front, because stage win or a race win wouldn't hurt his chances either. He's currently 3rd in the standings in the playoffs, so he should be okay. But it's especially Chad Martin in that 6th position that needs to be worried. As long as Brad Suggs keep falling back, he'll be all right. But Brad Suggs being up there should worry him. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Travis McDaniel has a little bit of a jump on the field. It's Dave Weishart in 2nd position now, Brad Suggs in 3rd. And it looks like Garrett Grant is picking up 4th. Ooh, it looks like the 12 of Nicholas Wing runs a little bit wide, and that allows Chad Martin to pick up 5th position there. And that is actually good news for him. The closer he gets to Brad Suggs, the better it is for him. McDaniel in the lead by about 4/10 of a second already. David Weishart following in the 2nd spot. And Brad Suggs in 3rd. Garrett Grant in 4th. Chet Martin, as I said, in 5th. Nicholas Wing running in 6th currently. So Chet Martin right behind Garrett Grant here. The closer he can bring himself to Brad Suggs, the more secure he will be about going to the Final Four. Travis in front by 5/10 of a second now. He is currently, he just ran the quickest lap of the race with a 27.21, and that is just a few thousandths of a second quicker than his previous best time. Excuse me. Weishart here in 2nd. Brad Suggs hanging on to 3rd, right behind David. Garrett Grant now coming under a little bit of pressure from Chad Martin. Can Chad do anything here into turn 1? Well, he's sticking behind there, but he's getting pretty close. Fresh tires is working for him, it looks like. Let's ride along with that's Garrett. I was going to bring you to Chet Martin here, right behind Garrett Grant. That's what it looks like from his end. Coming up to speed, we can bring that dashboard in here and let you check the speeds. Turn 1, about 115, 120 coming out. Then on the backstretch, we're gaining up some speed. Right around 160, 165, down to about 113 in 3 and 4. 3 and 4 is a little bit quicker than 1 and 2. It's a little bit wider turn. And then we're coming back up to speed on the main straightaway once again, right up to about 160 miles an hour. Let's see the difference in lap times, or I'm sorry, the wrong button. The difference in lap times between Martin and the guy behind him, that is Nicholas Wing. And if we bring that up to Garrett Grant, these guys are battling for position, and there you can see that Martin is quicker on some, and then it's Garrett Grant quicker on another. So these guys are pretty evenly matched. Let's bring her back up to the second place fight here. That's David Weishart and Brad Suggs. There's about 2/10 of a second difference between there. Travis McDaniel is about 8/10 of a second out of Weishart's view. And let's check back on Martin here. Hanging there with Garrett Grant for that 4th and 5th position. Travis McDaniel in the lead, building up to that lead to about 9/10 of a second, pretty much a second, I would say. Weishart following in second, Brad Suggs in third. Looks like Brad Suggs is having a little bit more trouble keeping up, or it would not surprise me one bit if he's just trying to save that rubber up a little bit. Oh, and it looks like we missed a pass here. That was Chet Martin in front of Garrett Grant. Oops, a little bit too far back, but you'll see it happening here shortly. The number 41, the red and white car of Chet Martin, coming to the inside on the backstretch in the dogleg, getting ahead of Garrett Grant. That looked like a fairly easy pass to me, and it may have been that Garrett has lost some speed somewhere, having a little trouble or a wiggle, or there he has one again. So it looks like Garrett Grant is struggling a little bit here tonight. And he loses about 8/10 of a second in the last lap there. So it looks like Garrett has a little bit of trouble. And Chet Martin seems to be, I'm sure he would be eager to catch up to Brad Suggs. Like I said, the closer he is to Brad Suggs, the safer he is when it comes to the final four. And with Brad Suggs in third and Chet Martin in fourth, I'm fairly sure that Martin would be okay. Because Martin has 4,087 points and Suggs has, 15 points less than that. And up front, it's still McDaniel, a little bit over a second now, with Weishart in second. 4/10 of a second behind Weishart, it is Brad Suggs in the third position. Then it's Chet Martin solidly in fourth now, and it looks like Chet Martin seems to be gaining somewhat on Brad Suggs. Suggs is running a little bit better lap times on the last lap. Garrett Grant seems to be picking himself back up here in fifth, and it's Nicholas Wing in sixth. And Chet Martin, Garrett Grant, and Nicholas Wing are running very similar lap times, 28.3, 28.4. And then the top three drivers, McDaniel, Weishart, and Suggs, are running 28.9s, all three of them. So they're very evenly matched. Let's take a look back there. That is David Weishart you see coming at you in turn one. There behind him, it is Brad Suggs in the gray car. It looks like Weishart's coming down to pit road. Something's happening here. Yeah, it looks like Weishart is coming down to pit road, and with let me see, that would be a strategic pit stop, because that will take him to the end. And Garrett Grant is doing the same thing. Are we looking at a team strategy plan here playing out once again? David Weishart and his teammate Garrett Grant are both on pit row for fresh rubber and for fuel, and that would take him to the end. The only problem I see with this early of a pit stop is that they will be Did Weishart take tires there? Let's go check back real quick. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Let's see if he takes both sides. I see the right side going up. I do not see left side tires on Weishart's car. So Weishart has taken right sides only, and I will say he still has a long way to go, because we're currently on lap 94, and we have to make that work for, what is it, 80, my math is not that great. It is 80, 86, 85 laps. So that is pushing it pretty close, to be honest with you. No, it's 70. I'm sorry, it's 75 laps. 75 laps till to the finish. So they're going to be definitely going to be good on fuel, but taking only right sides, that would be a bit of a gamble, and we'll have to wait and see if that pays off. Travis McDaniel in the lead still. It's Brad Suggs in second, 1.6 seconds behind. And I find it interesting that you don't see these guys following the same example like they did in Chicago. Here in Phoenix, they have chosen not to take that example and wait a little bit longer until they probably get a little bit further to the middle of that second stage before they're going in. Nicholas Wing also staying out there, so he picks up third position. And let me see, it looks to me like Chet Martin has also pitted 1 lap later than Grant. So Martin, Grant, and Weishart are on the same strategy. And that puts Chet Martin back in 6th. But this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Weishart, Grant, a team decision to come in on lap 91. Weishart only taking right sides. So that is going to be interesting. He must feel pretty confident that it's going to be good enough to pick up that race win. And of course, Weishart, he may be second in the standings, but the race win will lock him in there as well. And Garrett Grant really could use that as well, although Weishart and Grant are the second and third placed in the standings currently. The one that really needs it is Brad Suggs. It's currently outside of the Final Four, and with Chet Martin running fairly strong, he could really use a win to make sure that he makes it to the Final Four in Texas. And currently you see Weishart right behind Nicholas Wing. Right behind Brad Suggs. But David Weishart has been in the pits, and that means that David Weishart will have to pass Brad Suggs here if he can, and he probably can because he's on fresh rubber. But then he's going to have to go another lap and do it again before he really passes Suggs for position, because he is a lap down on the leaders with that pit stop. He passes Brad Suggs here, but like I said, now he's going to have to be faster and come back around another lap before he can take away Brad Suggs' position. So, yeah, this is an interesting turn of events. Strategy versus strategy, team versus team. Travis McDaniel running in the first position, and if you look at the lap times, then it looks like Weishart is about half a second, a little bit less than half a second per lap quicker than McDaniel, Suggs, and Wing. And the same is true for Garrett Grant and Chet Martin. So Weishart, Grant, and Martin, the guys that have pitted, they are about half a second quicker than the leaders. And of course, that difference, that advantage is going to wear off by the time we get to probably, let's say, lap 120, lap 30. That difference is going to burn off. And then it's going to be the guys that stayed out, the Travis McDaniel, the Suggs, the Wing. They're going to be pitting, and they'll be on fresh rubber. And that's why, that's exactly why I'm a little bit puzzled by Weishart only taking outside tires, because by the time we get to the end of the race, he is going to be in trouble. The only thing that would save him is a yellow flag where he can pick up new rubber once again. There you see him go past McDaniel, and once again, that is not for position. He's going to have to come back a whole lap, be quicker, and pick up that whole lap to get back around and race these guys for position. And as we speak and we look at the lap times, you can already see that that advantage is starting to evaporate, because Weishart's lap time is now also coming above the 28 seconds, and that means that there's about still about a half a second quicker, but that's gonna burn off. That advantage is gonna burn off by the time those tires get older as well. And Travis McDaniel is actually not running bad at all. 28.6 as opposed to Brad Suggs 28.4, so Suggs is losing out on McDaniel a little bit. McDaniel now bringing his lap time to a 28.3, a high 28.3, but it's still he's improving a little bit. So, and now we see Weishart back under 28 again. Garrett Grant's having a little bit more trouble. He is in 5th position, and he's running about 7 seconds behind David Weishart. And then Chet Martin in 6th, and he's running about 8.5 seconds behind Garrett Grant. And as said, Weishart, Grant, and Martin have made a pit stop. So as soon as the other guys are going to come in for fresh rubber and fuel, then we'll need to see where they have brought themselves with those early pit stops. So the counterpunch is up to Travis, really, and Brad Suggs. And if I were them, given that the deficit on the fresh rubber guys is only half a second, I would stretch that. I would stretch that as far as I could take it. And here's the thing: if they do get a yellow and Weishart is still almost a lap behind, that is going to be in the advantage of these leaders here. But we'll have to see how this plays out, and if Weishart's gamble there with Grant together is going to pay off. There we have him, David Weishart, still, as I said, in 4th position. So he currently has about 25 seconds to make up to get to Brad Suggs and Travis McDaniel for position. And with 28-second laps, there you can see in the background that was McDaniel. So it is just under a lap that he's trying to make up. And if you look at Weishart's last lap time, that is a 28.1 as opposed to a 28.5 from McDaniel. So McDaniel is doing pretty good on tires that have been on that car since lap 71. So, like I said, that advantage of that early pit stop is burning off fairly quickly. Right around lap 120, I don't think we'll see all that much difference between those guys anymore. Both Weishart and Grant are running 28.2s, 28.16 at this time. Chet Martin, 28.2. And then the leaders with Travis McDaniel in front. Travis is running a 28.55. Brad Suggs is running a 28.6. And Nicholas Wing is running a 28.6. So, yeah, that's about a half a second still. Let's ride along here with your leader and see how his car is handling. And that little white spot that you saw there in the distance, that is David Weishart trying to catch that lap. And you can see that McDaniel is definitely working that car through 1 and 2. Even here in the dog leg, it looks like he's got a little bit of correcting to do. You can hear the tire scrubbing. Coming off of 4, careful on the gas. Yeah, he's definitely getting a little loose already. let's go check on Brett in the 33 car. That right side does look a little bit scraped and banged up, but it doesn't seem to hurt him too bad. Similar times to Travis McDaniel currently. Nicholas Wing in third place, running at about a tenth of a second slower than the 2 leaders in front of him. He's got about 15 seconds to make up to get to Brad Suggs' number 33 car, so that's going to be a tough deal to do. And then Weishard, and it looks like Weishard is gaining still because Travis's times are dropping a little bit. And David is still running about a half a second quicker every lap. So let's see how long this is going to last. And right around lap 120, I would expect those leaders to come in, because that would split their second stage pretty much in half as far as the use of rubber is concerned. So then again, they might choose to stay out there as long as possible and hope for a yellow. But with this little cars on the track, 6 cars only, I would not take that gamble, because the odds of us getting a yellow are very slim here tonight. These guys, all 6 of them, they know what they're doing. They're handling those cars really well, and they know how they're they know how the tires are falling off. They have control here, absolutely. So the thing to do, if it was my choice, I would be coming in right around lap 120 or so and do another 50 laps on a new set of tires. But we'll have to wait and see if McDaniel, Suggs, and Nicholas Wing are agreeing with me on that. And obviously, it is easy to be on the sidelines talking about them, and it is a lot harder to be in that car and doing it yourself. The focus is so important. Any moment of losing your focus can lead to a slight mistake. Slight mistake can become bigger mistakes, costing you tire wear, costing you time on the track. So it is not easy, not easy at all. Let's go check back here on Brett Suggs. He is now 1.2 seconds behind McDaniel. And those laps are still about the same. It looks like Grant has caught up with Brett Suggs now. And again, that is not for position, because Grant is a lap down currently on Brett Suggs. He will have to pass him twice before he gains a position. Same thing as was true for Weishard is true for Grant and Chet Martin. Ooh, we do have that yellow. What happened? What happened? Was it McDaniel? No. I can't see what happened. I have no idea why we're looking at a yellow flag here. Let's go see Brad Suggs, Weishart, Nicholas Wing, Garrett Grant, Chet Martin. Was it Garrett Grant? Nope. Was it Martin? Nope. I don't know. I have no idea why we're going yellow. I'm drawing a blank here. I cannot find any car that had an incident, and we are still going yellow. So it may have been race control induced yellow here. I'm not sure. That would of course bring everything back together again. And currently it looks like David Weishart has picked up that lead. In front of him, that would be the 41 of Chet Martin. And Martin would be almost a lap down to Weishart, so Martin would be getting a wave around past the pace car. But no, I cannot tell who that was. And here we see Weishart rethinking that strategy. He's back on the lead lap. He knows it, and he's coming in for new tires as well. And that would even out the entire field. Garrett Grant is doing the same thing, so their first strategy call has kind of totally evaporated because of this yellow. And I'm not sure why we have this yellow. I cannot tell you. I don't think anybody crashed or hit the wall or anything. We have all 6 drivers that are currently running with 0 incidents to their name as far as iRacing's incident counter is concerned. So I have no idea why this is. It brings the field completely back together. Everybody reset on new tires, and it looks like David Weishart will be coming back in 4th position, and 5th position will be Garrett Grant. They're going to catch up to the end of the pack. Chet Martin is still in front of the leader, so he'll be coming back behind Weishart and Grant. And for some reason it shows Weishart in front of Nicholas Wing. Not sure why that is. Is Nicholas Wing just dropping back a little bit here to the tail end of the line? No, that's because he also went into the pits. So that resets the entire race, with everybody on fresh tires and enough fuel to make it to the end with a little bit under 50 laps to go, 47 to be exact. And that's going to make things interesting. And at situations like this, it would be interesting to hear race control, but we can't hear them, unfortunately. Chet Martin will be going around. Oh, Nicholas Wing is back in again. Let's see if we can determine why he's coming back in. He should have taken tires the first pit stop on lap 121, but he's back in there now. Maybe he only took one side. No, he's just driving through the pit lane, and that puts him behind Weishart and Grant, so didn't lose anything, didn't gain anything. Not sure what the point of that was, but I'm sure he had his reason. And Chet Martin is getting the wave around right now. That means that the cars are lining back up here. So Wing and Martin will have to hurry on up and get behind there. Because right now we have Travis McDaniel, Brett Suggs, David Weishart, and Garrett Grant. And it looks like Grant is staying on the left lane there. There we go. We're back racing. We have reset this entire thing here for the final 45 laps. Travis McDaniel in the lead, Brad Suggs in second, David Weishart already challenging him for second. Going to the apron here. It doesn't seem to help him all that much, but he ends up on the inside of Brad Suggs in turn 3 and 4. Can he pick up that second position? Brad Suggs on the outside. Nope, he keeps it in front of Weishart. And then it's Garrett Grant right behind Weishart here. Chet Martin is now in 5th, Nicholas Wing in 6th. There you have Suggs and Weishart and Grant fairly close together here. Like I said, with fresh rubber and fuel to the end, we have this thing reset for 45, now 44 laps to the end. That opens up everything. And right now, once again, we are in the situation where Brad Suggs is in 2nd spot and Chet Martin in 5th. And that means that I think Chet Martin has to worry about getting to the final 4. It looks like Brad Suggs is running pretty strong here at this point. He put down the quickest lap of the race, 27.20. That is faster than McDaniel has been. And he is right on the tail end of that number 2 Budweiser car. And it looks like Brad Suggs is getting ready to put some pressure on McDaniel. Is he coming to the inside? No, it does not. He's not close enough to go underneath. Coming off of 4. And it looks like Brad Suggs is hanging with McDaniel really well, and it looks like David Weishart is hanging with these guys too. Garrett Grant a couple of car lengths behind that in 4th. Let's bring her back here to Brad Suggs, right behind that number 2 car. Is he trying to push McDaniel to get away from the teammates behind him, or is he just working for position here? Going through the dogleg towards turn 3 and 4. It looks like they're putting a little bit more distance on Weishart right now. It's about 3/10 of a second, and Suggs is hanging there right there on that bumper of the number 2 car. Checking the outside now, and tugging right back in there. Now to the inside. Ooh, he almost loses it, taking that shortcut on the apron. And that is costing him. Look at that. There's a car length that he lost there. He was trying to gain some distance, but he lost a little bit getting loose coming in there. And like I said before, that even though the banking is not very steep, that transition can get you in trouble. You can do it, but you can't be impatient. It looks like he's recovering pretty quickly, though. He's crawling back to Travis McDaniel's back bumper there once again. A little bit wider here. Weishart on the lower end. We've seen before that Weishart is comfortable dropping 2 wheels below that yellow line. Suggs right behind McDaniel, and it looks like Weishart's going to interfere in this battle now. Garrett Grant having a little bit of trouble keeping up. It's almost 0.8 of a second now that he is behind Weishart. Let's bring up that information here. McDaniel and Suggs is 1/10 of a second, and then Weishart and Suggs is 2/10 of a second, and it looks like Suggs is a little bit of a yo-yo in between these 2 cars there, crawling towards the leader and then sometimes dropping back a little bit back towards Weishart. Garrett Grant having a little bit more trouble keeping up. His deficit is now about a second. These 3 guys here up top, they're looking pretty strong and pretty even here. 27.7 lap times. Weishart dropping back a little bit now. And Suggs running strongly behind that number 2 car. Ooh, Suggs going back underneath on that dogleg. Can he get underneath the number 2? Yes, he can. He is underneath Travis McDaniel here coming off of turn 3 and 4. Cars really close together. These guys are very good at giving each other a little bit of room. It looks like McDaniel comes off of 4 a little bit better. And that means that Suggs just has to slot right back in behind him. Weishart's coming back again as well. He's picking up that car length that he dropped earlier, and he's now closing in on Brad Suggs in the 2nd position. And that is your battle for the lead in this race, and it's a little bit weird that McDaniel scrapes that car more than the others do when he's on the brakes, or at least if he's not on the brakes, getting off the gas. It looks like that car scrapes on the ground and throwing up some sparks in the process. And he's really the only one here that does that. So that could be that splitter on the front end of that car is damaged a little bit. Maybe the tire's rubbing, I don't know. It's a little bit odd. Ooh, there we see Weishart bouncing up against the wall, sparks flying for him as well. Let's see if we can see any damage on that car. He's definitely losing a little ground now. Yeah, he scraped that right side on that wall. Brad Suggs hanging on to that rear end of McDaniel. It's almost like there's a rope in between there. Weishart now back together there with Grant. And that's third and fourth position, so less than 4/10 of a second between these two, but they are teammates. And they're running second and third in the standings, so there's really no need to swap positions for them. The big thing here currently still is Brad Suggs as he compares to Chet Martin, and I'm not 100% sure about the points, but it appears to me that there would be about 5 points between every position. If I am correct on that, I don't know. Brad Suggs and Chet Martin. Martin is currently, or I should say before this race started, Martin was in fourth in the standings, so he would go through to the final four, and Suggs was 15 points behind him, but he is. Ooh, and we see Nicholas Wing in the pits. What's going on here? Let's see if we can find out if there was an incident. Yes, indeed. He got off the turn. He got loose off of turn 4, bounced it into the wall, and he took a tow before anybody else could get hurt by that, and that's why we're not going yellow. And that's really bad. Oh, we did go yellow after all. He was on the race line. So that brings them back up together. Let's see if there's any other takers for pit road. They would probably only do so if the leader would do so. And so that'll be up to Travis, really. Actually, with the field being fairly small, they could, yeah, there they go. There's your answer. You can philosophize about it all you want, and there's your answer right there. If you just wait 1 second, by the time they get to pit road entrance. So everybody coming in for tires, and here we're going to see the difference between whether now would be a time to maybe gamble and take outsides only. And I was a little puzzled by David Weishart doing that earlier, but now would be a good time to do that. Let's see here. And I think Weishart only took 2 tires once again. There, and it brings him out back in front. Look at that. That's the difference between taking 2 tires and 4 tires. That is a difference of about 4 seconds. Garrett Grant, I'm fairly sure he also only took 2 tires because he picks up 3rd position, and Brad Suggs drops back to 4th, which puts him right in front of Chet Martin. And if that stays the same, then I would be fairly confident to say that Chet Martin will go to the final 4, because Brad Suggs has points, 15 points to make up, and he's not going to make up 15 points by being 1 place ahead of Suggs. So that is a turn of events that is a little bit surprising, really. Weishart opting again for 2 tires. I can see it right now. I mean, this is the point where you would try that. It gains you track position, obviously. And on his earlier pit stop, I don't really saw the gain for him. There was no track position to gain. They were too far spread out, and he was pitting under green. But under yellow, that's where you gain positions in pit road, taking 2 tires instead of 4. Obviously, McDaniel thinks differently. He wants fresh rubber all around, so he took 4 tires. I'm fairly sure Garrett Grant only took 2 as well. Seeing him up here in 3rd position now. Brad Suggs in 4th, Jet Martin in 5th, and it looks like we lost Nicholas Wing. Too much damage to the car, or just not seeing the point of continuing. Nicholas Wing is not in the Final Four or in the playoffs anyway, so there's really not that much to gain for him. So that means we have 5 running cars in the race here for the final, 23, 24 laps? Yeah, you can definitely tell that Weishart's car has been damaged on that right side. And I will say Travis McDaniel's car is not all that perfectly clean on the right side anymore either, I think. Let's see if we can get that in the next camera shot when they come off turn 4 here. See if we can see that right side. No, I gotta correct myself there. He looks pretty good. It looks to me like Weishart has got more damage than McDaniel. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out here, folks. This is an interesting turn of events once again in this race. Weishart gaining a lot of track position here with taking only 2 tires. He's done it before, and he was as fast as he had to be when he did it before. So I'm expecting him to be a force here. So 4 Chevys running, 1 Ford. McDaniel, the only surviving Ford here currently. The lights are out, so we're going to go racing, going into lap 149. That is that'll be 23 laps to go. There we go. David Weishart hits the gas. Garrett Grant coming with him right away for that 2nd spot in the race. There you have it going into turn 1. Garrett Grant stayed behind his wingman. I'm sure they were on the radio telling each other when to go. Oh, Travis gets in trouble. Travis gets in trouble. Coming off that 2nd turn, Travis gets in trouble and he drops back to, 4th position. Oh, that is unfortunate. It looks like Weishart and Grant are in control here. Suggs coming out to the outside of Garrett Grant now, going into turn 1, I'm sorry. Suggs running a little bit wide, and it looks like Travis McDaniel gets underneath Brad Suggs to pick that 3rd place back up. Suggs once again in 4th, Martin in 5th. Weishart in the lead with about a 0.6 of a second gap to Garrett Grant, and Garrett has Travis McDaniel to worry about. So on the restart, that was good teamwork by these guys. I'm sure they were on the radio telling each other when to go, and it made Garrett Grant pick up that 2nd spot. We saw Suggs going down underneath pretty low here, trying to get underneath McDaniel. Can he do it coming off of 4? Yes, he can. We saw McDaniel have a bit of a wiggle there, and it allows the 33 to get ahead of him. Brad Suggs picks up the 3rd position once again, and now we're going to have to wait and see if he has something for those leaders. Weishart now well out in front, Garrett Grant in 2nd. Brad Suggs here in the 3rd spot with Travis McDaniel now in 4th, and Chet Martin is still in the race in 5th. And even though he's a couple of car lengths behind, I still don't count out anybody. Weishart up there in front with about 0.3 of a second on Garrett Grant. It looks like Garrett Grant is inching towards him, and he's probably being motivated by a ever bigger 33 car in his mirror there, because it looks like Brad Suggs is gaining a little bit on Garrett Grant. Lap 155 as we're coming off of turn 4. We will start lap 155. So that is 16 laps to go in the final race of round 2 in the playoffs for the Rivalry Racing Cup Series. We've seen some exciting racing in this series, definitely. Yeah, and there Brad Suggs comes to the inside on that apron. Can he get that car underneath Garrett Grant? And he can. Oh, Garrett Grant is pretty strong still. He's got that nose alongside, but he's not close enough to make a pass. It looks like McDaniel has fallen back 0.2 of a second. That's about a car length. Suggs is still pushing hard towards Garrett Grant. Right on that back bumper. Let's bring it up from a little bit further away. These 4 cars fighting for the lead. Weishart out in front. Garrett Grant in second into 42 to 33. That's Brad Suggs in third. Then it's the number 2 of Travis McDaniel in fourth. Chet Martin has a little bit more deficit on these guys. There you have him once again. Brad Suggs trying again into turn 3. And it looks like he gets that nose alongside. Can he get underneath? Yes, he can. And then the 42 fights back coming off the turn on the high side. It looks like Suggs is picking up that position on the line. And he puts himself in the second spot, but the 42 is fighting back. Now he's got to slot in behind the 33 there. The 33 going low once again for a defensive move. Putting a car length between himself and the 42, and now going after Weishart. And the guy that needs the win the most would be the 32 car driver, Brad Suggs. The win would definitely get him into the Final 4. He needs that win. He wants that win. He's right behind Weishart there. Weishart going a little bit wider. He's not quite alongside with that nose, but Weishart is giving him the room to play. He's just not slowing down. Brad Suggs going after Weishart for that lead. Let's ride along with Brett here. Going to the apron. Losing sight here for a moment. Let's go back and see. Oh, he didn't get it alongside. Let's go back in there again. That's Weishart you're looking at. Coming off turn 4, working that wheel a little bit. Can he get underneath into 1? I don't think he wants to. He likes better to try that coming off turn 2 and then getting underneath on that apron to try to get underneath the number 4 car. He's not trying it again. Oh, and Weishart running a little bit wide. Almost touching there. Weishart running a little bit wide. Correct. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is so unfortunate. Weishart loose off the turn, trying to correct it, almost has it, and then loses it running into the 33 car. Let's bring that back for you once again. We'll slow that down for you a little bit. A little bit early. Here you have it. The 4 car gets loose. You can see from the rubber marks on the track. The 4 car's already getting loose. The 33 is getting underneath there. And then look at the exit of the turn. The 33, 2 wheels below the line, he's got control. The 4, look at that. He's going way wide with that back end. He's catching it, but he's not entirely clear catching it. And then, unfortunately, he can't keep it straight enough to clear the 33. He runs into the back of him, turns him around. Then the number 2 has to take evasive action to the left, scrapes that inside wall. And that was all she wrote. And I hope these guys can reset those cars. They may actually, Brad Suggs may still have that fast repair. We'll have to wait and see there. No, it doesn't look like it. He doesn't have that fast repair, or hopefully he's not forgetting to use it. They're all taking tires. Once again, the 42 comes off quickly with taking only 2. And it looks like Garrett Grant picks up that lead. Where's David Weishart? Is he not going back out? I don't know. He's still standing there. Engine's running. Is he not going back out? And we have Chad Martin also still in the pit. He is going back out. So what's happening with David Weishart? It looks like he took a tow because he took that fast repair right here. You could see the trouble on his right side, and there you have it. I don't even think he took tires. He just took that fast repair. All right, another big change of things right here in Phoenix for your final race in round 2 of the playoffs. It is now Garrett Grant in the first position with Travis McDaniel right alongside him. Brad Suggs in third. Chet Martin is now in fourth, and that is good news for Chet Martin because once again he needs to be close to Brad Suggs not to lose that advantage that he has in the point standings. David Weishart now coming to the back end of the pack here in fifth position. Unfortunately, he tried very hard to save it. He almost had it. He couldn't keep it. He couldn't keep it high, and ran into Brad Suggs. So I would call that a racing incident. There was no intention there whatsoever. I'm 100% sure of that. Just one of those things that when you're racing on the limit, that kind of stuff just happens. And maybe we'll have an opportunity to talk to him about it once we get done. So we're on lap 165. We have 6 laps to go currently, and that means 5 laps probably when the lights on the pace car go out, and 4 laps to the end when we get the green flag. So it'll be a short dash for the cash. It'll be Garrett Grant on the best position to gain that win here and get himself locked in that final 4. Not that his position is in trouble. He would probably make it into that final 4 anyway, the way things are looking in this race. The big question is still Brad Suggs and Chet Martin, and with these guys running third and fourth, that tells me that Chet Martin is going to be in that final 4. So that would mean that Weishart, Grant, and Martin would be the final 4 as they are running in the standings currently. The lights on the pace car have not gone out yet. And they should be going out now. Yep, they're out now. So that means we have 4 laps to go when we go racing. Weishart's car looks to be repaired, so he used his fast repair. Chet Martin's car looks all right. I think Travis McDaniel's car looks all right, so I'm fairly sure he also took that fast repair. And I don't believe that Brad Suggs did because he may have used it before. Yeah, that back end looks a little bit beat up. So the one good thing I can tell you right now for Brad Suggs is he's on the inside. And if he can jump that start a little bit like we saw Garrett do before, then he could be in a good position. And he loses out a little bit. It's Garrett Grant taking the lead into turn 1. It's Travis McDaniel in second, Brad Suggs in third, Chet Martin in fourth. Oh, and Garrett Grant loses it going into turn 1. Oh my gosh, that is so unfortunate for him. He's in the lead. He was in a great position here. And it looks like he just loses it on the throttle into turn 1. Actually, he loses it mid-turn. Did he get too far underneath that yellow line? Let's see if we can bring that back for you, folks. Here he comes. No, I don't believe it's the yellow line. He just throws it in there a little bit too hard. We can ask him. We can ask him after the race. A little bit of damage on that front end, but at least he's rolling. And And that is probably going to put us on a green-white checkered here, with Travis McDaniel in the front, with Brett Suggs in second, with Chet Martin now in third, and David Weishart in fourth, and Garrett Grant in the fifth position. Well, that's good news for Brad Suggs. The only thing he needs now is to shake Chet Martin, and I don't see that happening. He tried really hard. He drove a very good race. He was racy all the time. He went for the lead. He went for it in the first stage. He went for it in the second stage. And it was really unfortunate that he got together with Weishart there. He was picking up that lead from Weishart, and unfortunately David lost it. And that just turned things around completely. And then we see Garrett Grant going into the pits here, trying to get some repairs maybe. I'm fairly sure he's already used that fast repair, but we can watch what happens to that car when he gets to the pit stall. Yeah, he doesn't have a fast repair anymore. He's just taking tires. He's in the back end anyway, so why not? There's nothing to lose when you're in the back end of the pack and you're still under yellow. You'll catch up to the back end of the pack anyway, so it's not a big deal. And he may even try to have some of that stuff repaired. And he's just letting as much repairs being handled by iRacing until he sees the field coming up to him. And there you see the field coming off of turn 4, and once he sees that, he goes out. And that means that iRacing has done as much repairs as he can possibly get in that short time, and he's going to catch up to the tail end of the field anyway. Alright, so let's take a look here up front. The lights on the pace car aren't even out yet. So that was good thinking by Brett. Or by Garrett, I'm sorry. And he'll be catching up to that back end anyway. And if those lights don't go out, he might just do it again. But I'm fairly sure they'll go out this time by. We'll be doing a green-white checkered. So 2 laps to decide this race, with Travis McDaniel in a good position here to pick up his 3rd win in the second round of the playoffs. He won both Michigan and Chicago. And yeah, I feel a little bit for David. I mean, I'm sure he had no intention of doing that, messing up the 33 there, but he almost saved it. And we've seen him pull off some good saves before, and just when it really hurts, he can't do it. Or pretty much, well, he almost saved it. I mean, he didn't crash, but it's just how it goes, folks. This is hard racing. These guys are still showing a lot of respect for each other, so yeah, there's no blame game here whatsoever. It's a racing incident, and as we say here in Nevada, shit happens. All right, the lights on the pace car are out. We're going to be doing a green-white checker to settle this thing here in Phoenix. Travis McDaniel in the 2. It's Brad Suggs in the 33 up front there. Chet Martin in the red and white car. Then it's David Weishart on the outside and Garrett Grant behind. Travis McDaniel has a good start. Tugs along. Brad Suggs in second position. Then it's David Weishart in third. Chet Martin drops to fourth there. Garrett Grant to his outside. Those guys are going to try and see if they can help each other push to the front here. And I'll be honest with you, that's bad news for Martin and good news for Suggs. It's Travis McDaniel getting the white flag now. Did Brad Suggs get in trouble? Yes, he did. Oh my gosh, Brad Suggs got in trouble coming off of turn 4, and that brings Garrett Grant and David Weishart to his outside. 3 wide now. Brad Suggs trying to salvage that second position by going very low on the dog leg, and he does so. And it looks like Weishart runs a little bit wide, all coming off the turn there as well. It's Travis McDaniel picking up the win. It's Brad Suggs in second by a very small margin. Then it's Grant in third. Chet Martin hangs on to fourth position, and David Weishart, where did he go? Where did he crashed? Oh boy. Coming off turn 4, once again getting loose all by himself. And he brings it across the line, sliding around in the final running position in 5th. My gosh, what a race. Let's bring up your results here. I gotta find those results here real quickly. It's Travis McDaniel, Brett Suggs, Garrett Grant, Chet Martin, David Weishart. We lost Nicholas Wing and Chris Seidenfaden. Let's see if we can find McDaniel. Ah, there he is. He's running some nice donuts there. All right, folks, let's see if we can talk to the guys that matter here today in Phoenix. Ooh, made a little mishap here. Let's see. Travis, this is Mark in the booth. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Travis, you made it 3 out of 3 in a very eventful race. Even though the field was small, it was a eventful race here tonight.
Yeah, only had 7 of us to start and 5 of us to finish, and we still look like rookies out there. But uh, it was fun. A lot of hard racing. I know that's why we ended up wrecking. You got guys with 4,000 and 5,000 I ratings. That's what's going to happen when there's a spot to go to Texas on the line. So it is what it is. Obviously happy to win here. I think this is the first time I've ever won at Phoenix. Before I couldn't win a go kart race here, so I'm happy to win this one. But it kind of sucked for Brett because he's ran good all season. Unfortunately, didn't make the Final Four there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about the points being counted per position, but it looked like in the beginning when Brad Suggs was running there second behind you and Chad Martin was way down there in 6th or something like that. Would that have worked? Would that have been enough?
They had 15 points between them, so with the small field, Brett needed a win, and I really think if we didn't get them cautions, he was going to, because he was definitely faster than me after about 35 laps. I did everything I could to try to hold him off, but he was definitely faster. But when Nick spun on the front stretch there, it kind of sealed it up, so it was unfortunate for him.
Yeah, and I do believe when Brad Suggs passed David for the lead, that's where it really all went south for him because it looked like David lost it and tried to catch it, almost did, but then barely tapped Brett on the right rear, and that basically got everybody going around. So that was really unfortunate. I'm very convinced that was just nothing more than a racing incident. You guys race each other fair and square all the time and clean, and stuff just happens. How did you see that?
Yeah, I saw him get loose going into 3, and these things were on ice all night. I mean, I don't think I've ever drove a looser setup here. I mean, every time you hit the brakes, it had a chance to go around. It's like Garrett did going into 1 there on that last restart. Every time you hit the brakes, it basically was driving itself, and he was trying to steer out of it. So I saw him start to drift, and then he couldn't collect it, which when you're that far gone, you're not going to collect it back up. You just try to avoid hitting everybody else, and he just barely got Brett there, and unfortunately he didn't have a backup car to go to. He'd already used it, so he had to run the rest of that race with a messed up back end.
Yeah, that's exactly how I saw it, Travis. Once again, man, congratulations! It's 3 for 3 in round 2. Kind of a payback to David Weishart, 3 for 3 in round 1. You're the only one that gets into the finals with the wins. It looks like Weishart, Grant, and Martin will be the ones coming with you in Texas. What are your expectations for Texas?
Well, all of us run well at Texas, and it's the new configuration, so it's a little bit something different than we've been to before. We haven't ran the new one. I know David said he likes it. I know I'm a fan of it. So hopefully, it was put on the schedule as a championship race with this new package, hoping that we was going to have a really close battle coming to the line. So hopefully it delivers that because that's what it's put on there for. And we're all fans of Texas, and it should be a good race.
Awesome. Now we'll see you there, man. Any thank yous and love yous you want to throw out there?
Yeah, appreciate you broadcasting. I, if we had any viewers, are probably still not around after that mayhem we had there at the end. But appreciate everybody watching this season. Got one race left. We're going to go to Texas, and we'll figure out who's going to win this thing.
All right, Travis, we'll see you there. Thank you, man.
Thanks.
Brett, this is Mark in the booth. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Brett, you had a tough night.
Yeah, definitely. We were trying to make up some points and trying to lock ourselves in. And we had a fast car, probably one of the top two between Travis and I, and just let it slip away.
Well, I mean, it wasn't entirely your own fault. I mean, when you were passing David for the lead, he got loose off of turn four and he almost caught it, but then he just barely touched you on that right rear and sent you spinning around, and that basically did you in for any chance to win this race, don't you think?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, we had a really good run underneath him, and I saw him sliding up the track, and I definitely wanted to take advantage of it. And then I guess he just got on the gas a little bit too soon there, coming out of turn four, and I'm watching the replay now. I mean, I think there's things that could have been done differently between the both of us. I probably could have waited a little longer. He probably could have lifted, tried to save it a little better. But I mean, just in the end, just unfortunate situation to even get caught up in that.
Yeah, I mean, from where I was sitting, I mean, I know you guys well enough by now that this is just to me a racing incident. He really worked hard on saving it, and I do believe he got off the gas because that's how he tried to catch that back end back up. He had to be off the gas a little bit, and it was just there's not enough room for everybody to be sliding around in the on the exit of turn four. So it's unfortunate. I was rooting for you, dude, because I was kind of thinking you needed that win really badly to get locked in the final four, and unfortunately it didn't turn out that way.
Yeah, we were giving it our best. I mean, these high down or the excuse me, the low downforce package with the high horsepower seems to be our strong suit all season long. And I think this is probably our third or fourth second place on a low downforce track. So unfortunate to not lock ourselves in, but hey, we're still going to run Texas, and even if we aren't in the championship, we're still going to try our best to go out there and win that race.
It would still be nice to see you go out of this season with a win, right?
Absolutely, buddy. I appreciate it.
All right, Brad. It was great to watch this stuff, man. Like I said, you worked really hard. I think you also really worked hard on picking up that extra point at the first stage, right behind Travis there, and I looked like Travis was just as fast as you was, so it was pretty much impossible to get by him, right?
Yeah, I mean, we were dead even pretty much the entire race. So any mistake on his part or my part would cost a great amount of time on the board. So I think I had a little bit better of a long run car, and he burnt his stuff up a little bit early. So I was hoping for another long run there for the second stage. That way I could try to reel him in again, and it was working until that first yellow came out. And as they say, cautions breed cautions, and that kind of just opened up a can of worms.
Yeah, it sure did. Yes, sir. Well, once again, still congratulations on a good result. Maybe not the one you'd hoped for and the one you needed, but still a good result. Any thank yous and love yous you want to throw out there, Brett?
Yeah, shout out to everybody that tuned into my stream here on Facebook. They were all rooting for me, so disappointing for sure. But just want to thank everybody that tunes into those streams. Also, we got the custom ACCO on the hood, A&A Landscape Supplies on the tailgate, also Speed Energy drink on the quarter panels, and of course, Brett Suggs Racing Marketing. And last but not least, you for putting on this broadcast. It's definitely fun to go back and review them and see what needs to improve on our driving. So thank you for putting these broadcasts on.
You're most welcome, Brett. It's great to be a part of this, man. Thank you.
Thanks.
Garrett, this is Mark in the booth. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
It seems to me like lately we talk because you got third place. What happened there at the end, sir?
Just a rookie mistake, I guess. I didn't think I drove that turn any different than I had all night, and it just as soon as I got on the brakes, I felt the car step out, and with this setup was trash to say the least. And just once you lost the rear end of the car, there was no saving it. So I just tried to lock it down. When I locked it down, I tried to straighten it, and it overcorrected back up the track with this big rookie mistake I had that race won. And I got a great restart there and just choked it away and won.
Well, I mean, we're all human, Garrett. We all make mistakes. It's unfortunate it happens at the wrong moment. Do you think maybe it was the new tires that were too cold, or did they feel any? It didn't feel different. You don't think?
Yeah, I guess it could have been the tires being cold and I hadn't had clean air all night, so that might have been a factor too. I don't know, but just that I didn't think I drove it in there too hard at all. I thought I drove it in the same as I had all night, and it just looped on me that time. I don't know. I guess it was the cold tires. I think I did finish third again. So
Well, it's still not bad, Garrett. Let's be honest. But let me ask you about a little bit earlier in that second stage after lap 70. You and David decided to go into the pits quite early, and you took four tires, I believe. David took two, and I'm going to ask him about that too. But why the early pit stop?
I actually took two tires with him, and we were just trying to do something different than them to try to gain an advantage. I think we were probably going to have about a lap lead on them, but they're going to have about 40 laps, I think, to catch us. And I was just hoping maybe we could get out on them, and then maybe the tires even out because we definitely weren't faster than them. So we just made the executive decision to try something different and try to get a jump on them.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, you guys were a little bit faster, about a half a second a lap. I could tell from scoring, but it just kind of puzzled me. And because you went in so early, if everything would have stayed green, you guys would have been on only new tires on the outside. You don't think that would have hurt you in the end?
Uh, no, because the left tires weren't wearing hardly at all. I think after that first stage, they're like 90-95%. They weren't hardly worn at all, so we weren't scared to take just rights there.
Okay, okay. So the lefts really changing the left was really not all that necessary anyway.
Correct. Yeah, they weren't wearing hardly at all.
So in that final stage, right before it went wrong, you had a pit stop as well with all the others, and that's when you also took only two tires, right, to get back up front.
No, I actually took four tires there, and I don't know if Brett had a bad stop there or what, but I got out ahead of him and was sitting on the bottom there with my teammate David, and we pulled the old razzle dazzle on the restart there to get out in
Yeah,
front of him.
exactly. Yeah, that was pretty obvious. You guys are all on the radio together, telling each other when to go. That was pretty obvious.
Yeah, for sure. We do that every time we can.
I hear you. All right, Garrett. No, once again, man. Too bad for your mistake. It looked for a moment you had it in the bag. I agree with you. It didn't look like you were much faster going into that turn than the guy behind you, which was Travis McDaniel, and it just went away from you. Like we say, shit happens. Just too bad. Better luck in Texas, I would say. Any thank yous and love yous you want to throw out there?
Yeah, yeah, thanks to you for broadcast, and thanks for Travis putting on such a awesome league. And shout out to my teammates at Samson Motorsports. And I think I'm in the final four next week, so hopefully we can go get him at Texas.
Yeah, you should definitely be in the final four. That I don't see that any scenario in which you weren't be. So we'll see you there in Texas, and try to take your chances there, man.
Yes, sir. Hope so. Thank you.
Bye. David, this is Mark in the booth. I know we generally don't talk to fifth place finishers, but we're going to do that tonight because I want to know what happened there with the number 33 car near the end there when you guys were battling for the lead.
Yeah, I was just racing hard there for the win. I was on 2 tires. I wasn't going to beat them straight up, so I had to try something a little different. I tried it on a green flag pit stop earlier, and it took about 2 to 3 laps for the car to kind of come in. It started off really loose on 2 tires, but it eventually came in. Well, that run, I don't know if I had run it too hard or if we'd run too many laps or whatever, but the car never came in there. It was just loose the whole time, and I was just trying to hold on, and he got inside of me, and he took that really low on the apron down the dog leg, and I really couldn't see him, and I was just trying to outdrive him in there, and I overdrove myself in there and pretty much drifted around that whole corner. And I guess when the banking unloaded there coming out of because I could control the slide through the corner, but like I said, when I guess when the banking unloaded, I didn't have anything to lean on anymore, and it just went around. So I apologized to him for it. I don't know if it really makes a difference. It kind of ruined his shot at winning. He had the best car tonight. I mean, I feel bad about it. I don't drive that way. I don't take pride in that at all. So.
I'm not asking you because there's any hint of or suggestion of that being anything but just an incident. To me, it's a bunch of guys racing really hard. I've been long enough with Rivalry Racing League to know that you guys race each other the best way you can, and shit happens. I mean, obviously. So I just wanted to hear you explain it because at first, and you're making it very clear now. It looked like you had it. And then as you come off the banking where the banking unloads, that's exactly what happened. You make it very clear. So I mean, I just wanted to listen to your feel of what happened there, and that makes a lot of sense. I mean, like I said, it looked like you had it, and then all of a sudden you didn't, and unfortunately you touched him barely, and that was enough to send him spinning around. But like I said, in no way trying to suggest there anything other than just a racing incident.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just explaining that, I just don't race that way. But yeah, I mean, there's not a ton of banking in 3 and 4, but when it goes away on the straightaway, you really feel it. So
yeah.
But yeah, just unfortunate.
So another thing I wanted to ask, and I asked the same question of Garrett, when you guys did the green flag pit stop in the second stint fairly early on, I mean, I knew you were going to make it on fuel, and I was kind of surprised that both of you were taking only right sides. And I was looking at that a little bit like, aren't you going to get in trouble later when you're if it stays green and you have to do this whole stint on only those right sides, that could get you in trouble. But Garrett kind of explained to me that the lefts were really not an issue, huh?
No, I ran about a 40 lap run in practice, and my left side just were not wearing. I mean, mid 90% range. And I knew we'd only run 15, 20 laps there, if that. And I made the call for 2 tires because I was like, well, we're going to undercut. Because like I said just a minute ago, if you just follow the leader, you're going to keep following the leader. And I had nothing for those 2. So my idea was, since the left side's not wearing, come in early, take right side, so you have the fresh rights, make up some time there. And then by the time they pit, because if they run it long, they're going to have to take 4, and you're going to come out and they're going to be a lap down. I don't know if the strategy would have worked out. They may have run us back down, but in my opinion, it was worth a try. It was looking good there, but we got that unfortunate yellow. So
yeah, exactly. Then when that first yellow came, it kind of all went out the window there. So what happened on the final lap? I mean, I was looking at the guys up front, obviously, for the finish, and then I check back on the replay, and I see you spinning around the finish line there.
Yeah, we were 3 wide there going down the backstretch, and I was trying to back out of it to get a run, and I got behind Garrett there, and he hit the brake a little harder than I thought he was going to, so it had me all checked up. Excuse me. And I was in that high line. I guess it was dirty up there, and I tried to just get a straight run off and trying to stay in the gas, but again, once that banking went away, it just snapped around on me, and I just said, well, I'm spinning around here. I'm just going to keep my foot in it. So that's what happened there.
I hear you. Okay. Well, David, I just wanted to hear hear the words from your mouth yourself. Like I said, no suggestion of anything other than an incident. It was good, hard racing, and stuff happens when you're racing like that. I mean, that's just part of the deal, and I do believe that Brett accepts that as well. I mean, that's just the way it is. What are your expectations for Texas? It's going to be McDaniel, you and Garrett and Martin, I believe, in the final four. What are your expectations?
I expect to do pretty well. I really like this new version of Texas compared to the old version of Texas. So it's more of a finesse track. The old Texas was more of a just a traditional mile and a half, and the new Texas with turn one being the way it is. Uh, it's really become a real finesse track. You got to really hit your line. So um, it creates a passing opportunity in 1 and 2 if somebody misses their line. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so are we, man. David, any thank yous and loves you want to throw out there before we go?
Just thank my teammates Garrett and Chris, and thank Travis for putting this whole deal on. You know, we haven't had the fields that we wanted, the numbers, but and the guys that do come out here and race every week, it's fun to go. It's fun to race with them, and I just want to thank you for broadcasting, everybody watching.
All right, so let me throw in one final question there about Chris, because it looked like he stopped after a spin. He didn't have that much damage. Did you hear from him before he went?
Yeah, he felt like he wasn't all that competitive this race, but he didn't make the championship for this race. But he'll be back next week. He'll be racing with us.
All right, that sounds great. All right, thanks again, David, and we'll see you in Texas for the roundup of this season, and it's going to be a good fight, I'm sure.
All right, thanks, man. See you there.
All right, folks, that'll do it for tonight here in Phoenix, Arizona. Next week, as said, we're going to be crowning the champion in the Rivalry Racing Cup Series. Travis McDaniel, David Weishart, Garrett Grant, and Chad Martin are in the final four for that championship on the newly scanned Texas Motor Speedway. You just heard David say that he likes that track a lot better than the old one. We're going to be doing that next week. We're probably going to be live going about 7:50 p.m. Central Standard Time like we usually do. We'll pick up a little bit of the final part of practice. We'll pick up qualifying, and then we'll be there with you for the entire race, obviously, like we always do. Once again, a small field here tonight at Phoenix. Travis McDaniel picking up the third win in round two of the playoffs here. Brad Suggs, unfortunate, just a little bit short. It looked like he was the fastest driver out there, especially near the end of the race. It's been hard racing. It's been fair racing. I think all these guys, despite the small field, they're still putting up a great show and putting up some fair and hard racing. And we are hoping to see the same thing next week in Texas for the season finale and the crowning of the champion for the Rivalry Racing Cup Series. This is Short Shift Broadcasting. My name is Mark. We hope to see you next week in Texas. Thank you.